our democracy. So let me say, I have been clear. Now is the time to get a ceasefire deal and get the hostage deal.
Y'all, look at this right here. The U.S. has approved $20 billion in arms sales to Israel, including scores of fighter jets and advanced air-to-air missiles. The State Department announced Tuesday, y'all. Look at that. August 13th, y'all, 2024. Congress was notified of the impending sale, which includes more than 50. I'm not stuttering. I'm just continuing to say 50 F-15 fighter jets and advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles and AAMS 120mm tank ammunition and high explosive mortars and tactical vehicles, and comes at a time of intense concern that Israel may become involved in a wider Middle East war. However, the weapons are not expected to get to Israel anytime soon. They are contracts that will take years to fulfill. Much of what is being sold is to help Israel increase its military capability in the long term. The earliest systems being delivered under the contract aren't expected until the 2026 time frame. The United States is committed to the security of Israel and is vital to U.S. national interest to assist in Israel develop and maintain a strong and ready self-defense capability. The proposed sale is consistent with the objectives the State Department said in a release on the sale. So that means it is done, y'all. So listen, the Biden administration has had to balance its continued support for Israel with a growing number of calls from lawmakers and the U.S. public to curb military support there due to the high number of civilian deaths in Gaza. It has curbed one delivery. Y'all, I'm going too far. I done went too far. I forgot. But y'all get what I'm saying, y'all. At the end of the day, y'all, why would Kamala Harris, why would the Biden administration, why would they want to end the war and have a ceasefire when we just actually they just landed this contract right here? Yeah. Brand new contract, y'all. You can actually go pull it up yourself and read the whole entire article.
Israel can defend itself. These people are lying to you. And nobody should believe that there is going to be a permanent ceasefire and self-determination for the Palestinian people and an end to the apartheid as long as the U.S. government is giving them weapons. Israel's economy is falling apart. Israel's economy is collapsing, fam, because of this war. People are fleeing. Have you seen the videos? People are fleeing Israel. They're trying to get the heck up out of there. And now the economy is also starting to crash. Also, they can try to be the supreme people. Also, they can get rid of the Palestinian people. All this over land. Listen to this. I don't think people realize how bad this is. 60,000 businesses to shut down in Israel in 2024.
Let's bring in Leila Hatoum, political economist and editor-in-chief at MENA Uncensored. She joins us live from the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Thanks for joining us, Leila. Now, it's expected that 60,000 businesses in Israel will shut down by the end of the year. How is Israel's ongoing war in Gaza affecting its economy, particularly when it comes to local businesses?
Well, from the beginning of this war until May, we had estimated about 80,000 small and medium-time enterprises had already shut down and closed because of the economic and financial impact and the burden that they had faced. Not only basically when it comes to lack of customers, the downturn when it comes to tourism as well, but also the fact that reservists were pulled away from the working market. So the working hand was pulled away towards the reservists, and that impacted those businesses. At one point or another, that also had a negative impact on the budget. We saw the Israeli budget at one point or another showing a deficit of 8.1% in July, and that's the government estimate. Our estimate is in the double digit now. And at the same time, we have the economy basically is down at around 14%. They estimated at 8.1% for the past 12 months, but it's about 14% so far for the past 10 months alone. Remember, we cannot take the numbers from the Israeli government itself. They're trying to basically restrict the data that they show because they don't want to show that they have massive, basically, losses. The first 2 months of the war, if you remember, we had an issue with the Israeli government not issuing any numbers. And then we found out that 1/3 of their economy had been sold. Their economy is about, or their GDP basically is about $480 to $490 billion. 1/3 of that, that's about $162 billion that were lost in the first 2 months of the war. If you want to compare it to COVID, I mean, think about it this way. For the whole year of COVID, they had about 14% downturn. The first few months, it was about 2.2%. When it comes to this war, the first 10 months of this war, you had a downturn of about 12 to 14% alone. So the number is going to increase. And for the past 16 months, the budget deficit has been also basically going down.
Right, very interesting.
So you guys hear this? So she's saying this is going to continue to increase because think about it. Tourism is hit heavily. There are a number of airlines that said they will not fly people to Israel. So there goes tourism. There's that. You have to think about this for a second. So there's that. There's the businesses that have closed. Again, they are willing, Netanyahu and the IDF, they are willing to destroy their own economy just to get the Palestinian people off the land.
But they didn't do anything with the withdrawal. You know, Iran was broke when I was president. China wasn't buying oil. India wasn't buying. They weren't buying. They were broke. And you didn't have the problems that you had now. You would have never seen an attack on Israel. It would have never happened. You would have never seen an attack on Ukraine. It was never going to happen. I got along very well with Putin. It was never going to, listen, it was never going to happen. You wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had any of the problems. All of these problems, inflation was caused by the crazy energy prices that this guy caused to happen. And with the historic Abraham Accords, I even made peace in the Middle East. We had peace in the Middle East. We would have had people signing left and right. And for 4 straight years, I kept America safe. I kept Israel safe. I kept Ukraine safe. And I kept the entire world safe. You know, there's a great leader, very powerful leader in Hungary, Viktor Orban, and they interviewed him 2 or 3 weeks ago. Viktor Orban, very powerful man, very respected. Some people don't like him because he's a tough guy, but they said the whole world is exploding. Look at what's going on in the Middle East, and everything is exploding, and the world is a mess. He said there's only one thing that can be done. They said, well, what would you do? And what would you tell Biden? He said, I'd tell Biden to resign. You have to put Trump back in power because when he was here.
So let me sum this video up real quick. Kamala Harris and the Biden administration wants a ceasefire. That's a lie. The U.S. just closed another deal selling over $20 billion in military weapons. Think about it. Not only that, Israel is so crazy that they're willing to sacrifice their entire economy over some land. Okay. All this started behind Hamas being funded by China because China started selling, Iran started selling oil to China. But when Trump was in office, he shut all that down. Not only that, the Biden administration ended up giving $12 billion total, $6 billion for some hostages, and another $6 billion later on. Go fact check me. So we actually funded Hamas because Iran funded Hamas. So at the end of the day, we gave Iran the money to fund Hamas. So basically, we playing both sides. But when Trump was in office, we had peace in the Middle East, and that's a fact.